It's getting there. Some more updates. What I've been adding to the write-up. I think that's a better face than your actual face. There we go. It's more accurate. The winky eye. Remember the hyena, guys. Remember I mentioned that the hyena is often used to... Oh, what up? What happened to our hyena picture? I had another one on here. Used to represent the sea of light, mother of light, and or the hermaphroditic deity that is all white with black stars or black spots. This is because female hyenas have a dong. So let's scroll back up. Let's go all the way to the top. So again, this is the write-up I'm doing called Color Coding and Occulted Symbolism of Characters in Popular Fiction and How It Relates to Ritualized Child Abuse and Child Trafficking. So I haven't filled in much for these other characters yet, much more than I've already showed in the last video. But here again, you can see this is a collection of popular characters in modern day fiction, where you see this combination of red and purple or pink over a greenish bluish gray color. The greenish bluish aquamarine gray color is, I believe, meant to like symbolize sort of the sea within this context. And remember that the red and the purple combined are pink, because when you perceive the color pink, what you're seeing are the wavelengths, the light wavelengths for red and purple combined. And those are two opposite ends of the visible spectrum. So it's like bringing together two opposites, which these people are all about. Magicians are all about. People who work with magic. If they know a thing or two about magic, they know it involves bringing together opposites. Sometimes I think some people take it a bit too far. So let's see what I added in for Mindy McCready here. She's one of the characters that I'm breaking down for following the same color coding. Also, again, keep in mind that the meanings of the names of these characters have a lot of overlapping meaning. Etymologically, a lot of them are connected. And the meanings of their names quite often will overlap with certain characteristics. So again, here, last time I focused a bit on the blouse she's wearing here, pink over gray, the pink book bag strap over a white blouse with black diamonds in it. White and black can be gray, but that also is symbolic of this idea that is repeatedly referenced in lots of media of this alternative parallel universe that's sort of an opposite of the world that we are used to. And it's often described as, or envisioned as being white, having a white night sky with black stars. So, and often also seen as being a female, and sometimes seen as being like a little girl or young girl. So she's wearing a white blouse with black diamonds. Here I'm making reference, I'm showing you an artist's rendering or depiction, their idea of what a place called Carcosa might look like. Carcosa is mentioned in a few different sources of media. I believe originally it was mentioned in a book called The King in Yellow, written by Robert Chambers. He very much influenced H.P. Lovecraft. Carcosa is also mentioned in a very popular TV series called True Detective, the very first season that stars Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, where they're trying to catch this guy who is serial abducting and murdering women and children, and he's clearly has pedophilic tendencies. And it turns out he's part of he's part of a family bloodline that has an entire ritualized belief system that clearly is based around the writings of the King in Yellow and Carcosa. They literally mention the name Carcosa in the series, and they talk about a King in Yellow. Here I'm showing some scenes from that TV show. Note the spiral, note the horns and antlers. That was a commonality between these characters, horns and antlers, or sometimes things on top of their head that appear like horns and antlers. Sometimes something like a pointed, tiara type thing. You'll see more characters down here with the horns and antlers, though. Also seems to relate to the horned god. There are a few, but they're all sort of roughly the same, different faces for the same deity. Shiva, or Cernunnos, or Khnum. Khnum would be Egyptian. Cernunnos, I believe, more of pagan, and Shiva, Hindu. And those are just a few. So then we've got the Book of Henatwe. Henatwe. I don't know if it's Henatwe or Henatawi, whatever. I prefer saying Henatwe. The Book of the Dead of Henatwe. And here's sort of a close-up from the Book of the Dead there. Again, we can see the white sky with the black stars. I have to go in and add in the Jewish bulls. Now here's a picture of... here's another close-up. We see this sort of hermaphroditic figure. It's meant to be sort of the overarching highest deity, and its phallus is meant to represent the material world within it. And that would be this guy going to town on his own knob. And it's often represented as a hyena because female hyenas have mock penises, and they are this light beige-white color with black spots. So again, it's that white with the black stars on it. And this all relates back to the flower of life, this sacred geometry image. This is meant to represent all of life, this sea of light that's made up of smaller lights. It's often, here it's being conceptualized sort of as a large complex flower made up of smaller flowers. But like I said, in many ways, it's represented in many ways like a big docile cow giving off milk. A big, dumb, lumbering beast of burden quite often is what's used to represent this deity. Sometimes it's a woman, a sleeping woman, a woman who's asleep or dead, a corpse, being preyed upon or eaten upon by perhaps her children, or something along those lines. So more of Mindy McCready I need to comment on. There's some other characters, Jessica Rabbit, that fit the bill. Look, so we've got, again, this idea of like an animal-human hybrid of some sort, quite often with like a tail, and most often with horns, antlers of some kind. There we go, horns sticking out of the head. So, like I said, the part with these particular characters I didn't really add much to yet, much more to, but more will come. And I believe I already started going over how some of this is connected to the Frank family, which is troubling considering one of them is a Nobel Prize winner and the other one has been working in content creating in Hollywood for years now. And is considered to be a big influencer, and most of them seem to be, well-off millionaires and have lots of properties and such. These two kids are adopted, and then again, so we're circling back down to, like I said, Zay Frank is of the Frank family. That's him there. This is his wife. These are the two adopted kids. This is the rest of his family, sister and her husband, father, and stepmom. So obviously I fiddled with his face a bit. This is just a screenshot from, well, I took it off of a Google search, which pulled it from a Wired UK article. But this screenshot's basically just from one of his YouTube series. So he put out, he's currently doing this one YouTube series called True Facts, where he does funny narrations over clips of animals. Before that, he put out a couple of other video series on YouTube. A Show with Zay Frank and The Show with Zay Frank. The second one primarily showed him in most of the video clips just standing or sitting in front of this bookshelf. And the bookshelf, the things on the back of the bookshelf would change, typically from show to show, video to video. And that started to get my attention. Here he is holding the hyena with a baby. And it says hardly normal, adopted March 2012. I'm wondering if that's when he adopted his first kid. I'm not sure. Looking Closer. Note that book title. Looking Closer. This is also significant. This idea of flipping the natural order of things, putting the fish on top of the beast of flight. So like the fish in the air, fish in the sky. It's also suggesting that we are sort of in a sea. We are within a sea. The sea of light, again. And his father, Joaquin Frank, has a blog called Frank's Fiction, FRANX Fiction. I believe it's .com or .org, one of those. Just type in Joaquin Frank blog. Make sure it says Frank's Fiction. You'll find it. And right there, the main image at the top of the blog are fish. A picture of a school of fish transposed over a picture of the sky with a tree, and the fish are sort of swimming up in the tree. So I see this being referenced a lot. Things that should be down in the water, floating and flying up in the sky. So I see that being referenced with these people quite often. So you're just documenting my progress as I go along. You never know what's gonna happen. When my checkout time is, and I just feel like put the information out there. If something happens to me and I can't finish my work, maybe someone else who comes along will find this and they can pick it up from here. Be brave. So this is what I'm working on, what I wish to work on full time, and still, have resources to live, to survive and eat and pay bills. So if anybody knows of any job out there that would pay me to do this, send me a direct message on Facebook or something. I don't know. Get in touch with me. Let me know who would pay me to track down scumbags like this and try to get them exposed and thrown into prison for abusing children. Because I know that people have jobs like that out there. How do they get those jobs? What if you just have a natural knack for detective work and paying close attention and thinking critically and analytically? But you didn't go to police academy or whatever, nor do I really don't want to. Don't make me, I'm not doing that. Zero. No, none of that. I'm not doing police academy or whatever. They have to bring in consultants or whatever, don't they, sometimes? I don't know. FBI. People who think more creatively than they do, that have more of a background knowledge base, foundational knowledge in things that they know nothing about. Like occulted symbolism. and the ability to think creatively enough to figure out what the occulted symbolism means. Anyway, yep. All right, I'm gonna end this one. It's just supposed to be a quick little update.